Hi guys, I'm Steve. So there is this idea floating around. Pay 60% of the price, get the Air Pro 4i's, and you will get at least 60% of the standard version Air Pro 4's performance. Sounds like a good deal, right? But can the 4i actually pull it off? Let's find out. First up, let's talk about hardware. This is where it's getting interesting. On paper, the Air Pro 4i is the light version of the Air Pro 4, and it looks like they didn't cut too many corners. But this until if you know your codecs, you will spot the catch immediately. The biggest difference is the chipset. I've seen some influencers claiming the 4i still has this aptX lossless codec. I'm telling you right now, they are not telling the truth. The aptX, aka Snapdragon sound, is exclusive to Qualcomm chips, like the Qualcomm QCC3091 SoC chips used in the Earfun Air Pro 4. 4i is likely running a cheaper SoC chips from Uchi or Jelly. That means you will only get LDAC, AAC, and SBC decoding. And you will also need to forget about LE audio or Aerocast. They are gone as well. Aside from the chips, the hardware changes include the drivers. The Air Pro 4 Plus has that 1DD plus 1BA setup, and the standard version uses a 10mm composite dynamic driver, while the 4i uses an 11mm titanium plated dynamic driver. And battery life took a hit too. Official specs drop from the Earfun Pro 4's 11-hour single use with 41 hours total down to the 9.5-hour single use with 30.5 hours total. On the bright side, the wireless charging and Google Fast Pair are still here. Honestly, this is a pretty big departure from a typical light version. From the hardware perspective, this is basically a completely new product to me. So from the design, the 4i goes for a square shape. They add the decorative light inside the case and remove the hinge damping, which definitely makes it feel a bit cheaper. But, and I got to give them a credit here, they optimized the angle of the earbuds. The gap between the buds is wider now, making it easier to get your fingers in here. Plus, the stem has a rounded corner. You will get a better leverage, the motion is smoother, and they will less slippery. That's a detail worth praising. Comfort is about the same. The huge props for still included the 5 pair of the ear tips. It is still very friendly for different ear shapes. Now, moving on to the app. So, if you are the type person who constantly takes your butt out and to talk to people, I've got bad news. The 4i cut the in-ear detection features. Also missing is the standard version's AI ear adaptive ANC. And as I mentioned before, the Aerocast and LE audio options are gone. However, Find My Earbuds, volume, balanced, and EQ modes are still there. Sound-wise, the Air Pro 4i keeps the earphone's good reputation alive, especially the low end. The sub-bass, depths, and impacts are just right. For some bass heads, this might be a downside. Compared to the standard version, the 4i has less punch at the 50 Hz. That rumble is weaker, but the 100 to 200 Hz range is much clearer. I actually think this improves the audibility of the bass lines. Mid and vocals have the decent texture and the thickness. The highs are a little bit dark and can sound a little metallic, but it's not the deal breaker. Overall, the tuning is warm, it's balanced, and great for long-term listening experience. It reminds me a lot of the Soundcore P30i. You won't have super high expectations, but you won't be disappointed either. It's a solid all-day driver after all. Well, if you don't like this default sound, which is fine because Earfun still gives you this preset and 10 bands custom EQ and these adaptive sound effect test features, which original intent was to create a feature similar to OnePlus Golden Sound experience. Although I gotta say, this feature is kinda lazy. It's not like the OnePlus's AI calculation. Earfun basically just plays you sine waves at different frequencies. The result is pretty rough and honestly sounds bad. So this is time for me to recommend you using my custom tuning. I call it the S curve. It really brings the vocals forward and makes some stage more 3D vibe and just sounds clearer. Give it a shot, please. The 4i also has this they call the theater mode, which is totally different from the 3D spatial audio marketing fluff. It doesn't have these some sort of head tracking like Bose. It basically just expands the soundstage. But I gotta say, the Earfun's tuning is still reliable. They didn't stretch it out too strictly. So it's actually pretty fun for instrumental stuff like Corey 1 or some gaming OSTs. For noise cancellation, the 4i is generally on par with the standard version. But in my testing, maybe due to the different chip, the 4i's low frequencies cancellation actually feels stronger. However, the mids are weaker, the wind noise handling isn't as good as the 4. So if your main use case is subway or bus, the 4i might actually perform better. But in an official environment, the standard Air Pro 4 wins. If the ANC is a tie, transparency mode on the 4i is a bit of disasters. It feels like it added an anti-phase noise, filters out low frequencies weirdly, and there is noticeable camping pressure. It feels like there was zero optimization here. Next up, the call quality. So this is Earfun Air Pro 4's call quality test. This is Earfun Air Pro 4's call quality test. Now we are in the quiet room, and how does it sound like? Don't be a wanker. So this is Earfun Air Pro 4's call quality test. This is Earfun Air Pro 4's call quality test. And we are in the windy environment. And how does it sound like? Don't be a wanker. So this is Earfun Air Pro 4i's call quality test. This is Earfun Air Pro 4i's call quality test. Now we are in a quiet room. How does it sound like? Don't be a wanker. So this is call quality of the Earfun Air Pro 4i's call quality test. This is Earfun Air Pro 4i's call quality test. How does it sound? Now we are in a windy environment. Don't be a wanker. So after we testing, I find out that 4i's quality in the windy room is extremely bad, like really bad. You can barely hear what I'm saying, right? So I think if your priority is to, maybe sometimes you need to make a phone call when you bicycle, I think 4i is definitely not a choice for you to do that. So that's it. About battery life, official states that 6.5 hours with ANC on and 9.5 hours with ANC off. Now, I don't trust the marketing numbers based on the AAC or SBC, so I ran a drain test until the battery died completely and pulled the Bluetooth HCI logs from my phones. Here is the truth. With ANC on, LDAC on, and volume at 67%, which is loud, like 85 decibel. The total playtime was 2 hours and 51 minutes. Here is the comparison with the Earfun Air Pro 4. Under the same condition, the Earfun Air Pro 4 lasted 5 hours and 2 minutes. Well, since the LDAC usually burns twice the power of the AAC, this actually aligns with the official state. Conclusions: the Earfun's official battery numbers are honest. If you listen at 50% volume, even with the LDAC, it's still decent. If you use the AAC, you will easily hit that advertised time. All in all, the 4i is Earfun stay in their comfort zone. If the final price really is the 60% of the standard version, I think it's a steal. Well, I checked the Shopee Indonesia and it does list around the $40. While on the other hand, the official website lists it at the $69 Europe, which is about $89. You see, I trust they weren't crazy enough to actually sell it for $89. I mean, this is actually crazy action. My bottom line is, if you can get this for around $40, it is definitely worth considering. Well, if you ask me, it costs more than that, I would definitely suggest you looking for at the Total NC20s or the Earfree i5. I mean, better battery, better sound. Or you can stretch your budget to $55 and buy the standard Air Pro 4 instead. Well, I don't have beef with the 4i, I'm actually liking it. But in my book, it doesn't rank much higher than the Suncore P30i. You know what I'm saying? Alright, that's for today's video. I'm Steve, and I see you in the next one.